I was just wearing the shirt to infect them. Like it was like this thing, photo or painting. And then people got to go, photo. How do I know? It's like it immediately puts the onus on them to answer these questions. Photo question or painting. And then they got to go, photo. And then that will eat away at the matrix of the reality. Somebody wrote, now there's so much flat earth content on the internet. Some girl, attractive model out of LA has a Twitter handle. She's friends with my wife. And, she wasn't a flat earther. My wife was. And then she just was posting stuff on her modeling page about this fashion, this clothes, just a regular hot chick that just is not involved with politics, but was exposed to us just by little things. And she just wrote something about like shopping or something. She wrote hashtag flat earth. Yeah, hashtag the earth is flat. And then she wrote back a few tweets later, it's like, you don't realize it, but I've put a seed in your head that's going to start undoing programming. Because it's like, Earth is flat. Now, they can make these hit piece documentaries. They can send out these people on TV making fun of it. The culture is so recycled and boring that people who might be laughing at somebody saying, there's this movement of flat earthers, somebody's going to go and look at that movement. And then they're going to keep looking because it's entertaining. And they're going to realize, oh my God, this is funny for other reasons. This is funny because it is flat and they're fooling everybody. And so it's like there's this kind of like love-hate relationship I have with plants like Mark Sargent or Useful Idiots, whatever they are, where they can just offer themselves up to the mainstream to just be dissected and ridiculed, and they actually show up at the Q&A of a movie panel where the producer's present in a movie where they actually make them look like losers. They'll show up, so it's like, and they're not even getting paid by the proceeds of the receipts of the movie, which is strange. I think they are getting paid to actually show up, to be there, to be in Flat Earth. But it doesn't matter, because Flat Earth, even if you were to laugh at it by your own predispositions, it's not stopping it. And sooner or later, you're going to look into it. The problem is family and people close to you. You ever heard the expression, familiarity breeds contempt?
Yeah, I have heard it.
So they know you every day as who you are. Now, to be intimately connected to you, and then you come and tell them, right? By the way, your reality is an error. Now, you might be right. You might be right. Problem is you figured it out before them.
Oh.
So their ego. Listen.
There's too much of that in my family, but now that you say that,
there's a subconscious element that well, that's in their subconscious. Let's say you were right. Let's say you're right.
I never thought about it that way.
Let's say you're right.
Yeah.
They can't give it to you because they didn't see it first. Something so huge?
No.
So that's why perfect strangers are coming together like a tribe and going, yeah, figured it out. I'm going the same thing with my family. Same thing, close family and relatives. The other thing too is that I have people like I did that last thing on my channel, Matt Long. He's got a successful construction company out in Vegas, tall, attractive guy, big influence, very sociable, blah, blah. Everybody's along with him. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what they're saying behind your back. But also, they might respect him more. So he might have surrounded himself with people that respect him more, right? So Flat Earth is a litmus test to find out how many people around you respect you, respect your opinions, will listen to you, or dismiss you. It's a litmus test to find out what's bullshit. It's a litmus test to find out who's a fanatic or a zealot. And it's a litmus test to find out at what point people are unconditionally in love or love you, and also their love has to do with a respect towards your mind. And I think after a while, you got to turn off the faucet because they don't deserve it. And there's also that element I found with, I used to do these presentations and nobody would even heckle me. I was waiting. Somebody to call me an idiot. The earth is a ball. I'd be surrounded in my studio with all my artwork, with space imagery, high detail, and it'd be every week there'd be like more people coming. It'd be 100 people. None of them pronounced themselves as flat earthers. They all came to the shows that started the whole thing. They were present there watching the perception tests being run on their own mind, and they would applaud when they thought it was a photo, but it was a painting. And as a matter of fact, it was a painting I painted, so there was no dispute. And they would just enjoy this ride, but they're stuck there because they knew me. They knew me before and while and then as. And they're still there. They're still there on my Facebook page watching this whole thing like a car crash. Some of them might be secretly flat by now, but they'll never bring it up because they knew me. And I think it's like to be face to face with somebody who's saying something so challenging to their worldview of reality. If they've known you for a long time and they saw you just figure it out, they may not necessarily go on board, but you might talk to a perfect stranger today and you'll get like 20 of them. And that has to do with familiarity breeds contempt. It's like you're with Bill Lacrosse. He's like redneck. He's got his limitations, watches his TV show every day. He's been working at the same company for 20 years, goes to the same church. And, he knows you're, hey, Tony, how you doing? Every day, and boom, one day the earth, you tell him the earth is flat. He's already got a preconceived notion of you. And it may not be that respectful. It might be like, oh, Tony, blah, blah, he's this. He works there, da. And then you go and you tell him, by the way, your whole reality's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? First off, they're taking it like that. And it's like, well, this guy's going to tell me the earth isn't a ball, and that's basically the reality everybody believes. This guy's either crazy or
he's fucking with me.
He's fucking with me?
Most of the people at work, if I tell them, they'll be like, yeah, he's just fucking with me. This guy's...
So it's like what you should say is like, yeah, I'm fucking with you. How about you go there?
Yeah.
How about you go where I could fuck with you and see if you can debunk what I say?
Like, people don't want to let go of it.
And it's like, well, first off, debunk it.
Eventually, I mean, I think people are going to have to realize. I thought people were going to realize when Elon Musk did that bullshit. God, that
they
was
were
bullshit.
hanging. Well, this is what's fun is that what Flat Earth has done is it's forced them to put out more of these magic tricks, these stage stunts, right? Like the car to Mars, right?
Yeah.
The car, by the way, that's not even making a profit. Tesla's $602 million in debt, and he hasn't even made his orders that were made 2 years ago. So he's a total deadbeat. I actually think they're going to decommission all the underground tunnels and cities now that we're about that world peace.
Oh.
And he's going to have this pod system where he's shooting humans through in the underground system. Like they decommissioned the web after the Cold War.
Yeah.
We can all use the web now, but it used to be a spy hub. They're going to decommission the underground dumps for mass transit.
That is how every technology just shows up like that. And then there's a bunch of components that go with it already. Here's your Nintendo and 45 games. First day it comes out, and there's 45 games that come along with it.
Yeah, the web was around in the 60s and 50s.
Yeah.
It was a huge system for communicating encrypted messages for spies on the...
Here's the iPhone with all the software, it works. Just go for it. It all just shows up.
Yeah.
It all just shows up.
Yeah, watch these tunnels. They're all going to get decommissioned.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't brought that up to anyone. I'm going to bring that up in a particular segment here. Heard it here first, actually. That's where I think this is going. And I think they hate the fact when you piss on what they're planning to do.
Yeah.
And it forces them to come up with a new stage trick. And so this car to Mars thing, you could just tell them, it's like, hey, where's that car to Mars now? You should have more fun with it. And I think the idea here is like, the minute that you show you're trying to get them to believe it, you can put that label that we're a religious cult going around trying to convert people, which is their narrative right now. It's like this cult. So I would just gaslight them with real or fake. Yeah. Do you make the backside of this in your head? Because you've never seen the backside of this or the front side of it except as that little toy. You know, maybe you should just bring the globe on your desk or your workstation, just put it there and just gaslight them with how stupid it looks. See, that's what I do is like, instead of like pushing the flat so much time, is like the only way you can push flat is you take this out for what it is. It's a point of view nobody's had with their eyes. Nobody's been to space. Nobody's been across Antarctica. They just got to take it through the TV, up the ass. I would just like, you cannot jump to the flat earth with all these theories and all flat without verifiably putting them in a corner, the onus on them. Say how you know that's real. You have to start there. You can't challenge, you can't say the earth is flat without first taking apart their reality delicately, like the guy who's got to clip the red or the green wire with a bomb. It's the same thing. It's because if you don't get that right wire right off the bat, the whole thing blows up in your face. And I know that personally because I've tried to push the flat earth first with people I knew, and the way I came about it back in 2006 and 7 was not the way, per se. You know, it's a learning process. I don't know, you've been exposed to this since 2015. You got people who got exposed to this in 2014, 2015. They're not experts on the flat earth and the globe. I spent 3-4 years alone before I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because the only way I'm going to do this is alone and in an audience. And now the audience, I will now see how much of the audience is an expert on their own model of reality. Oh, apparently none of them are. Wow, it's worse than I thought. They're just going along with it. So I was able to accumulate a lot of data by doing these shows with people. So what I've done is like, you know what? I'm going to start with the image, photo or painting.